doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself. Hello, I'm Princess Serena, not Princess Serena, and today, as per my little intro of me singing horribly, I'm going to show you my theater pins. I thought it was appropriate to show the sound of music on my clothing. I love the theater. I just don't think there's anything on this earth that compares to watching a live production and just really feeling like you're there. Like, you're not yourself, you're just a fly on the wall, you're looking at everything happening. And intermission happens and you're like, huh? I have to go to the bathroom? I didn't even know I was a person anymore. And I love musicals. I love productions that aren't musicals. And I've also seen Disney plays as well. I'm very open-minded when it comes to theater. It takes a lot for me not to like a production. I like most of the plays I've seen. Some are definitely better than others, but I've only ever regretted seeing Cats, probably. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first play I ever saw was The Lion King, and I remember I didn't love it just because there was this one kid that got a Simba stuffed animal during intermission and was holding it up the whole second half. But I liked it enough to give plays a second chance. Wicked is a story about the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, and I saw that play shortly after as well. And my favorite type of play are very much plot-driven plays with really in-depth characters, and it's a bonus if the songs are amazing. And Wicked is all of the above. Highly recommend. Out of the first bunch of plays I saw, definitely was my favorite. And if you recognize this pin, it is an official Disney trading pin. I just didn't have a pin from the actual play and thought this went quite nicely with the aesthetic I was going for, just because it is very simplistic with the silhouette of Mary Poppins. I actually saw the production with the genie that actually ended up going on Broadway after. A lot of the casts in the Toronto shows do end up getting picked up to go to Broadway, which is really cool. They really cast amazing actors. The whole production and the costumes and the sets and everything is just so magical. Once again with Cinderella, this is an official Disney pin. I just thought it went quite nicely, and it's actually perfect because the next play I saw was Kinky Boots, and it's another heel actually. It's very kinky. No, it's very vibrant, it's very fun. The music I remember being incredible in this show. Come From Away, this one's really special. The whole cast was actually set already to go to Broadway, but they started it in Toronto just because it is a Canadian production, and it's inspired by the events, not of 9/11 specifically, but of the planes that had to land, and just like how a town completely took them in, and there was some romance, some comedy, some sad parts. Like, it was great. Book of Mormon was so funny. Oh my god. It doesn't sound like it would be funny with the title, like Mormons, like how is this funny, but so funny. Beautiful. It's not my era or anything. It's about Carole King and her whole life story, which I was not familiar with at all. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm very open-minded when it comes to plays because I'm very much there for the story, for the music, and for the characters more so than what it's based off of. I saw Waitress, Chicago, and Warpaint on a trip to New York. And I saw Waitress again when it came to Toronto, and I actually saw the version with Sarah Bareilles as the main character. I know she wrote the songs, and it was very emotional for a pin of a pie, you know? The Chicago was so great, so sassy, so much fun. The music was great. Warpaint, again, I didn't know too much about the history. It's about like two actual people and two women, which was pretty powerful. Anastasia, another Disney one. Mean Girls was better than I expected. Like, I loved the movie, but I'm like, how are they gonna make this a musical, you know? And I went in, and it was cool. I wasn't supposed to see this one, but I got standing tickets, like the last one, and I went literally like 40 minutes before the show. It was very exciting. The songs really added layers to the different characters, especially Regina George. Like, it made her less so of a one-sided character. This is performance. This is in self-defense. I thought you had a sense to see through that. Motown did not grow up with that. There was only a few artists I was familiar with, like Michael Jackson, for example, and it was just a really interesting story to see how that music company was and how they treated their artists and the whole story there. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it was a good time. I really liked this one a lot. Dear Evan Hansen was super hyped up. I was nervous it wasn't gonna live up to the hype. And honestly, the first half for me was a little bit of a letdown, but it's like about mental health and everything, and they did a good job, but I think another play later that I'm going to show you did a better job. But the second half was really emotional and really impactful, I think. I just think they could have done more with this story. The play that goes wrong was the funniest thing. Like it's so stupid, but it's funny. Like, it was slapstick comedy and it was basically a play within a play, and everything that could have went wrong did. But then you see how the actors that are playing the characters were like reacting, and it's very much physical humor. Sometimes you don't need like a complex thing. You just gotta sit back and like have a good time, and that definitely was this play. The Band's Visit honestly was not my favorite play ever. I saw two plays in 2020. I saw Phantom and Hamilton. I saw Hamilton 2 days before the world shut down. I saw it on March 11th. But yeah, Phantom was really good. And it was actually so cool that they had the chandelier like come all the way down, and it looked like it was literally gonna crash on top of us. And it was on fire. Like, I don't even know how they did that. And Hamilton was a really well put together production as well. Definitely worth the hype. And I'm not super into history, and I'm saying that. Okay, just because these look super similar, I'm just gonna go over them really quickly. I got them on an Etsy shop, and I started with getting 14 of them because I wasn't sure how they were gonna turn out. But the girl that runs it, her name is Jackie. She is so nice. If you like this type of thing, she also makes earrings and charm bracelets and stuff like that. But of course I went for the pins, and I was so excited that I was going to be able to get the pins of the plays I couldn't find the pins from. So I'll start over here. I put them in order of when I saw them. And then I got another 14 recently that just came in the mail today. And I have 10 more that I'm missing. I've been picking my most favorite ones. And I am going to get the last 10 when I start seeing plays again. Peter and the Starcatcher basically was like a prequel to Peter Pan with like Captain Hook and stuff. And I remember it being really funny. I saw it off Broadway with my school. These are like 2013. I still remember Fiddler on the Roof was so funny and so good. Romeo and Juliet, there is another Shakespeare play on here as well, because I go to Stratford every year, except for the last couple years, of course, because of the pandemic. But it was really well done. Even though they were talking like in Shakespearean English, you could pretty much understand it. Crazy for You was what really solidified my love for Stratford. It's a festival, if you're not familiar with it. There are Shakespeare plays, but there's also lots of other plays. Really the only criteria of what plays go there are just like, they're more old-fashioned plays. Like, none of them really have to do with technology type of thing. And it is a hit or miss, but honestly, most of them are hits. And Crazy for You, the dancers, the songs, the set, it was absolutely incredible. Matilda was my first ever Broadway play. Pretty good. The kids were so talented. Avenue Q, oh my gosh, we took my 12-year-old cousin at the time. Definitely a little inappropriate for him, but it's okay. He's mature. He liked it, you know? It was fun. It was a good time. There's definitely some plays that aren't like for kids, whether it is inappropriate or just like they wouldn't enjoy it. Like, it's not fun, and like those are, again, hit or misses with me as well, but when they're done right, they're like amazing. Shout out to my little intro over there at Sound of Music, which I saw in Stratford as well. Like, they have like well-known plays as well there sometimes. If Them, like, it had some swearing, so I guess it was like an adult-esque play. It was such a cool concept. Like, when you ask me what's the best plot I've ever seen for a play, I probably would say this one, to be honest, like the most interesting. Basically, the main character was named Elizabeth, and she moves to New York, and just because of one small decision, like, if I remember correctly, like her going with a friend or with like someone that she just met, it like literally changes her whole life. In one reality, her name is Liz and the lights are red. And then in one reality, her name was Beth and the lights were blue. And it showed just how her whole life changes. And not just her life, but the ones around her. And it was so well done. It was a musical as well. Oh, also, thought I should also mention, she doesn't like have these all on her shop. Like you can have a custom order. Like a lot of these I just asked her about the plays and then she put them together for me. The hypochondriac, he was paranoid about everything and he like wanted to make his daughter marry a doctor because like he was scared he was sick even though he wasn't, and it was so funny. It was not a musical. A Little Night Music, really interesting story. Like it was slow at first but it really picked up, and basically about all the relationships and how they, navigated through that during a party. It was pretty funny. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime I actually saw on my birthday, and this is one that I actually did read the book before because I read it for school a long time ago, and it was pretty well done. Guys and Dolls, such an incredible production. This is what I'm saying, like Stratford, like some people don't know about it, but their production is top notch for some of these plays. Dreamgirls, a theater that actually recently shut down because of COVID, unfortunately. I was lucky to see 3 productions there, which you'll see in a minute. Every single one was incredible, and it was such a small theater. Like it was like 9 rows or something, and the talent was incredible. I saw Grease. I actually saw it with Janelle Parrish as Sandy, which is awesome. She's from Pretty Little Liars, which I was obsessed with. The Lorax was a great one as well. Annie, to be honest, I didn't see the best production of it, but I love the movie, and I'm sure there are better productions of Annie out there. I don't blame the actual play on that. Cabaret is another play I saw at that smaller theater, and oh my goodness, that was my favorite out of the 3 I saw at the Ossington Theater in Toronto. It was incredible, the talent, and then the story. Like I've never seen the movie. I'll never forget when Sally slammed her hand on my playbill because the way the theater was, it was like a row and then a counter in front of you. And it was really cool. Like the seat in front of me, they had specifically for the actors, and it was like really interactive in that sense and very intimate. Paradise Lost was a really cool concept, and it's kind of the devil's perspective on like Adam and Eve and God and stuff, but it was actually like, I wouldn't say funny, I would say it was really witty, and I really quite enjoyed that one. The Rocky Horror Picture Show was so good, and they like put little modern twists, like they had a heckler in the background rip the ears of the people that sat right in front of them, but it was so great. It was so funny. It was so all over the place, but all in the best way. A lot going on. The Music Man was great. School of Rock, the kids were incredible. And the person that played the main character literally looked like Jack Black. I'm not kidding. Like it didn't feel like a kid's production, even though a kid could totally enjoy this. Like I really loved it. There was something for everyone in this play. Next to Normal is the play I was talking about, how it dealt with mental health. I feel like this play did a better job. Definitely different storylines and tackling different issues, of course, so you can't really compare the two, but I just really fell in love with this one. Highly recommend it. 9 to 5 was the last play I saw at the Ossington Theater in 2019, and it was so funny, based on the movie. The Merry Wives of Windsor is another Shakespeare one, which I actually didn't know the story going in, so at times it was hard to understand the language, but for the most part, I did understand it, and I quite enjoyed it, and it was a comedy. Private Lives was so good. It's one of my favorite plays I've seen in Stratford for sure thus far. It's about these 2 couples. They're each other's exes that are in the couples, and then they kind of like elope together, and yeah, it's pretty funny, and you really don't know where it's going. It's really only the 4 characters, which is really cool. The front page was pretty good. Girl from the North Country, I remember liking a lot as well. Piaf. It's based on 2 real people. Again, I didn't really know the history of them or anything, but I quite enjoyed the story. Here's an overview of the pins I showed. I just love all the playbill ones together. I recently added the new ones, the ones I already had, and it just looks so good. And then when I finally get more, I may intertwine the enamel ones with the other ones. We'll see. I may keep them in order, or I may separate them. I'm not sure. I'll go more quickly for the bottom half, she said. Yeah, that's hilarious. But if you stuck around this long, thank you. I appreciate it. And I could totally talk for a good hour about all of these plays. But I really constrained myself for the sake that this is a pin-oriented video. that's it for my theater pin collection. For now. If you haven't already, please subscribe for more pin-related content every Tuesday. And I would love to know in the comments below what your favorite play is, whether it's one I've shown today or not. I have seen about 60 plays in my lifetime. I was introduced a decade ago, actually. I am hoping the world can open again when it's safe to, and I can start going to more, because it makes my heart the happiest. And as always, take care of yourselves and have a magical day. Bye.